Alright, whatever I'm missing, it's not even unveiled on the map. Dang it. Am I gonna have to open up a freaking page on the internet for this map to find out what I'm missing? Under where it says Mournful Depths. Change map layer. Nothing here. Mournful Depths. Okay. Joseph says, so far with VOE, would you say ANET is hitting their stride with the annual model, or would you still prefer a return to older content models? So, okay. When I say they're hitting their stride, I think, to give a fair answer to that, I should wait to see the future content releases. Because I really enjoyed the launch patch of Secrets of the Obscure. I also really feel that in the following patches, they completely ruined the story that they had built at the start of Secrets of the Obscure. I think the story kind of flopped after that. And this one, VOE, I think the starting story is awesome. It's really good. And now I think it's up to them to maintain that. So will they kind of let it flop again, or will they, you know, keep cooking? I don't know. So I think that part remains to be seen. As far as like the features involved in these yearly releases, I think they're doing great. You know, we got homesteads, we got expanded weapon proficiencies, we got weapon master training, we got a Warclaw overhaul, we got a new way of getting the sky scale, we got open world legendary armor, we got a skimmer overhaul. Like, there's a lot of good stuff we've gotten in the last 3 annual things. Could they do more? Sure. They also could have done a whole lot less. You know, after Path of Fire, we waited 5 years. Like, those of us that were playing the game after Path of Fire, most of us thought that they were just done updating the game. And then it was like, we were still playing just because it was an awesome game, but we thought it was basically on life support. And then they announced End of Dragons, and it was like, oh, there's more? So, yeah, I mean, that was a 5-year gap in between those two. So, I would say I probably like the yearly stuff more, because it's nice to know that they're constantly breathing life into the game. It also brings in new players, right? Also, someone told me to come over here. Are you sure? I didn't find anything. It's also always bringing in new players, right? Because people are like, oh wait, I think I see it right there. People will see on the news like, oh, Guild Wars 2 is getting a new expansion, and they're like, oh, well, I didn't even know Guild Wars 2 was still up, and New World is dying, so maybe I'll go give Guild Wars 2 a shot. Source, some of you in chat. So, that is another thing. So I think, like, even if Guild Wars 2 was a great game that we enjoyed, if it wasn't for the fact that they're releasing new updates, I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't be giving it a chance, because they'd just be like, oh, 10-year-old game, it's dead. And now look at it. It's, you know, granted, like, less than a quarter of the player base are on Steam, but the Steam player base just had record-breaking numbers the other day, breaking 10K concurrent players. And that's a minority of the player base, because most of them are on the standalone client. There we go. All right, give me something good. 40 cotton scraps. We can definitely use that. Transmutation charge and 2 things we can salvage. Also 30 silver. Okay, so that's what we got for doing all of that. All right. Okay, Bloodtide Coast is done. Definitely not ready to go to Claw Island yet. Steam numbers are still a good heuristic for the global vibe. Yeah, for sure, for sure. The reason, anytime I talk about this, I try to constantly point out that the Steam numbers are just a fraction of the community, because a lot of people take those to be like, what's the word? Like gospel? Like that, like that's it. That's all the players. And I constantly want to point out, like, no, that's not all the players. That's only a fraction, and it's still doing good. All right, let's see. Dark Steel. Probably should get Mithril stuff. So, Mithril, Logging Axe, and Mining Pick. And let's get some more salvage kits. That was probably too many. What am I doing? Alright, salvage blue and white items. And salvage yellows. Should I get another one for yellows? God, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Maybe a journeyman for yellows. Do that. Alright, and sell these. Wondering what the percentage of Steam is to non-Steam, maybe 10% or less. I don't know. If I wish I knew, because there's the standalone client has been out for 13 years. Hey, 666 viewers, nice. What's up, Satan? It's me, your boy. So 13 years we've had the standalone client. And when was the Steam launch? When did Guild Wars 2 launch on Steam? 22. So it's been on standalone client for 13 years. It's been on Steam for 3 years. And when did it launch on Epic? 2024. So it's been on Epic for 1 year. So yeah, 13 years on standalone, 3 years on Steam, 1 year on Epic at this time. Mystic salvage kit. Doesn't that need those mystic crystal things? Yeah, it's a mystic forge stone. I don't even know how to get those these days. Gem store and achievement chests. So these used to be in the daily login rewards, but they're not now. So I don't know how I would go about getting these easily. And it does take a master kit that's 15 silver, too. I forgot the stone. Yeah, the stone used to be free in the daily login rewards, but no longer. Okay. I need to go to the bank over here. Just use the great sword just for traveling a little bit. I'm brand new to the game. What's the difference between the Steam and the standalone client? What's up, Apox? Welcome to the game. They both log into the same servers. Okay, so you are still playing with the same people in the same world. The difference is basically the launcher. So for example, the standalone client is the one that's been around the longest, and Steam just then launches the standalone client. So there's an extra layer. So there's very rare times where, like, if Steam has an outage, you might not be able to play Guild Wars, even though Guild Wars is running fine. And also purchases. So there are occasionally sales on Guild Wars 2 standalone client that are not on Steam, just because Steam takes a cut, so they do it differently. Like, here, hang on just a second. I'm going to use my referral link just to open the shop for a second. So if I go to Visions of Eternity, there is a Standard Edition, a Deluxe, and an Ultimate. Deluxe and Ultimate are not on Steam. Standard is on Steam, and then in-game you could buy a digital Deluxe upgrade, but there is no Ultimate on Steam or Epic. So if you care about that, that's a difference. If you don't care about that, then it does not matter. But just because of being able to participate in more giveaways and free stuff and the less chance of the very rare error with Steam or something like that, longtime players will typically recommend you play on standalone client. But again, if you're a diehard Steam fan, it's fine either way.
Did you know the gateway to the Man Realm goes both ways?
Don't forget Hollow Monument. That's a good point. If you ever played Guild Wars 1, you can get rewards in Guild Wars 2, just cosmetic stuff. And that system does not work with Steam. So yeah, that's a thing. Okay. Muck, which of the two latest expansions do you recommend buying first? I've returned to Guild Wars 2 like a few months ago and have all the expansions except Janthir and VOE. Okay, so Dux, right now, good question. Right now, VOE is not complete, right?
Mukluk, what happened to your hair? Looks sleek.
Thank you for the kind words. My wife cut my hair yesterday, so I'm glad you like it. So really quickly, This is this is Visions of Eternity. This is what we just got. This is in 3 months. This is in 6 months. This is in 9 months. So if you buy Janthier right now, you'll get the whole year's worth of content right now. If you buy VOE right now, you'll only get this. So because of that, my recommendation is if you're gonna buy one right now, I would say get Janthier, because you're gonna get way more like content for your money while VOE is still releasing the rest of it. That would be my vote, and that's my reasoning. Can I sell candy corn? I cannot. I think I can sell candy corn cobs, but I think those are like 1,000 or 2,000 candy corn. Elite Specs is a big draw. That is true. If there is a specific feature from a specific expansion that you really like, then yeah, you might skip ahead to get that. Like let's say you're playing the base game and you're like, okay, I really want to play Mechanist. I've looked at the classes. Mechanist is just, that's my jam. I love big robots. Big O, it's showtime. Let's go. You know, you might be like, I'm going straight to End of Dragons. I want to unlock mech. And that's fine. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. I'm just giving you my advice based on, you know, outside of you wanting to just skip straight to something for a specific feature, then you could follow what I said, but you don't have to. Muck, how do you feel about everyone going to you for introduction questions? I think it's because you're the Guild Wars 2 daddy. Phrasing? I think I'm better at answering questions than I am at gaming, so I am glad to spend the stream answering as many questions as I can, and gaming as a side thing. Like, I think I'm an okay gamer, for sure. But I think, I like to think of this channel as kind of like Guild Wars 2 Elementary School. Like, you can come to me for any general question. And if I can't answer it, I know who can. Like, I send people to Lord Hyzen, to Snowcrows, you know, to Guild Gen, to Mighty Teapot, all the time. Like, if I don't know the answer, I know where you can get the answer. But, so it's like, I'll teach you the basics and then send you off to Guild Wars 2 College when I'm done with you. Snebzar? Snebzar. What is okay, what is my knowledge of Snebzar's knowledge? I think he's a high-end raider, right? He's done more of the really high-end endgame content in this game than I have. But you know, so is Teapot. So yeah, I would say if someone came to me and like, hey, I've got questions about challenge mode Ceres or something. If I saw Sneb online, yeah, I would send him over to Sneb for that. But beyond that, I don't know like what else he's proficient in. Like, if someone asked about like a crazy lore question, I'd be like, oh, Wooden Potatoes is your guy, you know? But I will say, Snebzor is super nice. I met him when I was in Seattle, and he was great. Like, I talked to him. He talked to my wife and my son for a bit. Like, he was a really nice guy, for sure. Muck, where are the Guild Wars in Guild Wars 2? My understanding, because here's the thing, I've even read the books, but my understanding of it is the Guild Wars. It's kind of like in real life, if you're like, oh yeah, the World War I, right? It's an event that happened in the past. My understanding of that is when Guild Wars 1 came out, it was named that because of the Guild Wars that happened in Tyria's past. But of course, it's a misleading name because everybody is like, okay, well, where's the Guild Wars? Where's the Guild versus Guild gameplay? And Guild Wars 1 actually had wars between guilds. And so it's like, it had the feature, even though it was named after something else, and then Guild Wars 2 came out and it still had the name, but it didn't have the feature, and people are like, wait, where's the Guild Wars in Guild Wars? And so it just became confusing. It was in the lore before Guild Wars 1. Right. There was GVG in Guild Wars 1. Right, yeah, I just covered that. Let's see. Give me Muck a coffee. Sure, I've been slacking on the VMUC stuff. There's that. Plus Chip. Sure, we'll give him that too. Okay. Chat, give me just a second. I've actually got a headache brewing. I want some caffeine. I'm gonna get a drink. I will be back in just a moment. Hey, Chip. What's up? I don't know if you guys heard that. Chip says hi. He met me in the entryway to visit. Okay. Haircuts equal headaches confirmed. No, it's just me. I get a lot less of them at this point in my life. When I was younger, I was more prone to them. They've like slowed down over time. My mom gets migraines, and I get migraines. I definitely inherited that from her. And in my teens and 20s, it was like, if I got one, it was like once a month, but if I got one, it was like debilitating, you know? It was like, sit in the shower, cold water, trying to like get my head numb from the cold just so that the pain would be masked. Like, it was really bad. Now they're far less frequent, but on occasion. So it's gotten easier with age, but this is just a small headache right now. Mr. Mattyman says, after the next 3 story steps, you're going to get a lore snippet about the Guild Wars from Jahern. Okay. It was a lore thing that was backed up by gameplay mechanics. Yes, the Guild Wars was an event in Tyria, where different guilds were warring. Kind of like if we were like, oh yeah, the Civil War, or the Vietnam War, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was just a thing that happened in the past in Tyria. But then Guild Wars 1 also had guild versus guild gameplay, where different guilds could PvP against each other. And so people associated the Guild Wars 1 name with the feature. Totally fair. But then Guild Wars 2 came out and didn't have that feature as good, and people are like, why are there no Guild Wars in Guild Wars? You know? It's kind of like going into Black Desert Online and being like, why isn't the desert black? It's like, it's in the name, come on, where is it?
You will never be able to get rid of me. Ha ha ha.
Hi, Sether. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, so we got two gold right now. With 2 gold, can we upgrade anything? I would love if we could get leatherwork here to 275 so we could upgrade this backpack. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, though. Let me go over here. Okay, so if I want to get to 275, I've got some vials of thick blood, sharp claws, rampagers, knight's rascal pants. There's no refinement I can do for XP at this point. Hey, Mugavanet would make an item as a reference of you, as they did with wooden potatoes. What would you like it to be? Well, one, I already have 2 references in the game. I doubt I'm getting any more. Really quick, for the newcomers here, I had an intro I used to do all the time. When I had a much smaller channel, anytime I would get a new follower or a new sub, I would go, Mukluk Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire the Fourth and Sir Thomas Van Snuffles the Third welcomes you, dear viewer, to the lab. Hope you enjoy your stay. Entertainment is on the way. Crank up the speakers. Don't touch the beakers. Giveaways every week. Please take a seat, but you'll only need the edge. Anyway, so there was that, right? There's an achievement called Please Take a Seat. And when you have the achievement, the flavor text on it says, but you'll only need the edge.
3.
So that is a reference to me. And Essence of Luck is the name of the ArenaNet dev that put this in the game, and he flat out told me that was me. And there was another one. It was about Cryptus Hordes. What was the name of that one? Give me a sec. It was in the Convergences thing. Hope you enjoy your stay. Cryptus Hordes are on the way. That was supposed to be a spoof of my intro as well. So that one was kind of a poke at me. Doesn't Laura have one? She does. I don't remember the name of it, but there's one achievement that says, like, doing this would be as crazy as doing the clock tower jumping puzzle backwards, but who would do that? Which is a reference to her because she did that. Does Zeppela have one? Not that I know of. Zeppela hasn't been playing the game for that long. I could be wrong on that, but I think Zeppela is relatively new to the game. I will say the coolest reference in the game that I know of. Teapot should have one. Teapot does have one. What is it called? Dolphy. Okay, any new players won't know this creator. When I was starting out, anytime I needed a guide, I looked online, and it was usually Dolphy or Iron Maiden had made a guide on what I needed. Dolphy has a character that is a boss in a fractal named Siege Master Dolphy. She kills people, right? Like, her reference in-game has a body count. I think that is the coolest reference in-game, because she's actively murdering folks every day. She's the first boss in Urban Battleground. What is... Okay, someone says teapot. Okay, in the PvP VIP lounge, there is a teapot sitting on a table, and when you click it, it gives you a stack of might. It is a mighty teapot. Does Ian have one? Not that I know of. That's not to say it doesn't exist. I don't know of one for Ian immediately. I have one. My dog Kobe is in game by the Portals of Lion's Arch. Yeah, there's a thing where if you donate to a certain amount to a certain dev during the charity events, you can request to have your pet put in the game. And there's like hundreds of them in the game that are just named after different people's pets. Rook has it. Okay, so Rook has a character that looks like her in real life. Okay? So she has a human female character that looks very similar to how she appears in real life. And it is in the library in Arborstone looking at some books on the shelf. And its name is either Rook or Rukuri. Because she used to go by Rukuri and then she rebranded to Rook. As an item, those you got are not as easily associated with you. Yeah, Wooden Potatoes has one called the Maguma Burl, I think it was. Hold on a sec. Let me see if I got this right. Maguma Burl. All right, see this icon? This was his YouTube icon at the time that this came out. He's changed it since then, but that logo was his YouTube logo for the Wooden Potato. Roy's in the GVG arena in Obsidian Sanctum. Yep. Yeah, he's a ghost guy. Yeah, I could do a whole video, because I would say, like, of the creators in the game, like, half of the ones that have references in the game were no longer playing the game when... Can I do this in town? Oh, I can. Okay, 2 more of these and I'll be done with this. Half of the ones who have references in the game don't even play the game anymore. Does Heisen have one too, the guy in Misfault? I think that was a coincidence, but it's possible the person who made that was a fan of him. There's if it was him, they haven't told him directly that it was. Just waiting a few more seconds on this to finish the adventure guide thing. There we go. Boom! Bunch of XP. Alright. Change that back. Okay. References aside, do you know if Paragon Elite works against the one-shot mechanics in Fake Tequatl and Bavanisos? Fake Tequatl. Tequatl? In Bavanisos? Do you mean Lextalion? Who's a copy of Gorseval? Tequatl's a dragon. The first boss of the meta. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Alright, you mean the tentacle guy. Yeah, that's Timu Gorseval. Yeah, no, that's Lextalion. Okay, no, I know, I'm on board now. I get it. Do I think it would work about it? I doubt it. Because people have tried dodging that. They've tried aegising that. I would imagine someone has probably tried Signet of Stone and Rebound. I've never seen anyone survive that. So, I would say I doubt it. You could try it, but I doubt it. How much longer for Twitch drops? Negative 10 hours. They ended last night. Has anyone tried Zenrei's weapon? Okay, Zenrei's weapon doesn't work if you go to 0 health. So I know Zenrei's weapon wouldn't work. Because Zenrei's weapon, the hit has to do more than 15% of your health, but not down you. And if it doesn't down you, and it did more than 50% of your health, you heal 95% of what you took. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. How much are major runes of holding?
Here's a little something for all my loyal subjects.
50. Half a gold. Oh my god. That's no good. Okay, what can we do here? So, I did Valkyrie, I had Knight Insignia Boots, Valkyrie Coat, Knight Gloves, Cleric Mask. I could do some Berserker pieces. I can make 2 more bolts of linen. Alright, let's make some Berserker insignias here. So I haven't made Berserker anything yet. Alright, let's do boots. We're just doing this for the skill. Glove. Goggle padding. Goggle strap. I think I just ran out of linen. $258. Also, my character just leveled up to 74. Tray of zucchini bread. $262. Okay. By the way, someone earlier said you can sell on free-to-play anything you craft. You know what? I am absolutely shocked. Because I was about to try to prove that guy wrong. Earlier, we tried selling some stuff and it didn't work. So now I'm wondering what the conditions are in order to do this. Also, why is this 5 silver but that's a gold? It was the 7-day restriction on new accounts. Nope, look. I can't sell the insignia. Okay, so is there multiple layers to the restriction? So I still have restrictions. So either A, there's 2 types of restrictions and one was lifted, or B, some items that I did not anticipate could be sold can be sold. Why does it sell that this? Why does it say that this sells for that much? 15 silver to list it. I wonder if anyone would actually buy this. It's worth a shot. Maybe someone's salvaging it for something. Alright. Those 2... Alright, let's do that. Get some of the leather back. Alright. So now... Let's see, we did the mask. What was the next thing after the mask? Long coat. We need more linen. Alright, how much is linen? Let's say I bought 50 linen. 25 silver. Sure. Alright, let's start with that. Some handcrafted armor can be sold, but later handcrafted armor can't again. It's weird. Did I not just buy some linen? What? This guy's outfit.